guys, and welcome back to Project Z Garage. Today we continue to work on the Audi A4. We got it started, we took it for a test drive, and it's running pretty good with the new motor in it, if you were here for the last one. But we ran into another issue. So guys, we ran into a problem on our drive.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yep, so we got to figure out what the problem is. Well, we kind of did. So at first we thought it was well, the
control arm already had a little plate in it, so we had to change to refurbish those. So we did the swap out of the pieces inside of here and in the back. But then we realized that this knuckle is worn out to a point where it will not tighten correctly to it, and you notice that the top here is ticking right there and it's giving it the slack, and that's the noise we've been hearing.
All right, so I got a new one. Let me move some of this stuff out the way. That's the bolt that you need to replace, because these are stretch bolts. And if you want to know the model number, there you go. And let me move some of this other stuff out the way. Voila. We have a brand new steering knuckle. I picked this up from these guys here. Let's turn it upside down. Euro parts. But one of the things when we were looking at it, you needed a special Torx to get out this axle bolt.
I think it was 17 millimeter.
Yeah, so I went over and I looked online and I couldn't find individual ones that could get here fast enough, so I actually went to Home Depot and I found this Husky set that comes with 9 pieces, 1/2 inch to millimeter sizes. So it has a 17 in there, and we'll try it out, see if it fits, and try to get that nut out. This is going to be a little bit of a pain. We have a lot of stuff to take off, and wish us luck. But we're gonna slowly start working on getting all these parts off. First, we're gonna loosen this nut, and we'll have to take the caliper off, rotor off. I think the coilovers are also attached to it, or is it attached to the arm? I think no, that's attached to the arm. So we just gotta remove the arm, and we'll work from there. All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, guys, we're gonna try to get this axle bolt out. I think people are saying 140 pound-feet of torque on this, and plus an additional 1/2 a turn or something. So that means this thing is really on. So we're gonna try to see if we can get it with the breaker bar and just holding the brakes, if we can at least get it loose. I'm worried we're gonna snap it, but I guess we'll try and see what happens. Watch out.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's turning. It's fine.
All right.
Go ahead, put your gun on it.
I'm gonna take it all the way out. Okay. Alright guys, I pulled the two 21 millimeter bolts that hold the caliper, the whole caliper, to the steering knuckle.
Correct.
So we're gonna try to slide this caliper off. Hopefully it'll come off and not get hooked on the lip of this rotor. I mean, it doesn't really have a lip, so it should make it over. And you shouldn't ever hang the rotor by the brake fluid line, because you can damage it. So always use like a strap like this and wrap it around it, and you can hang it from the spring or somewhere around back here. You can find something to hook it on, just to not to have the weight of this caliper pulling on any of the wires. So we're gonna be sliding it off. Also, yes, the brake line. We have this cranked all the way to the right, so we can have room here to work. We might have to to bring the steering a little bit back, just so we have a little more play to get it off. But we should be good. So let's try to get that done. You don't have
Where's
to.
the key?
On top of the car, it should be.
God damn it.
Just a little bit. That's good. That should be good. Can you press the brake for a second?
Is that the brake?
The middle one.
Yeah. Is that the brake?
That's not the brake.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead.
Oh, actually, that doesn't make sense. Take your foot off the brake.
Why are you making me press the brake? Why would you make me press the brake and lock it down?
Well, why didn't you figure it out when I told you?
I don't know what the hell you want trying to do.
I'm trying to stop it from moving. Alright guys, we got the caliper off. By using the clamp, we were able to squeeze the caliper in a little bit to give a little space from the rotor, because there is a lip on the back of this, the caliper. We were able to squeeze the caliper to give a little bit of room so you can slide over this. It's got a little bit of a lip on the back side, meaning the back was squeezing or riding on the back a little more than the other one. So we might take this this rotor off and clean it up too to help with that. But we got it off, so that's good. We're hanging it up back there.
We gotta get the screw off.
We gotta get the screw off the rotor so we can get that off, and we'll keep working. All right guys, so it's a T30 that holds that little screw that holds the rotor on, and also the guard behind it is also T30 all the way around. So we're gonna take everything off because this all has to get transferred to the new one. Also, a good thing about filming this, we'll remember where all these bolts go and screws. Again, in one of my other videos, I stated Ziploc bags, but seeing that it's not too bad, I think we can remember this amount of screws. Okay, next, while we have everything still kind of connected, we're going to spray these bolt heads. Well, those are the back of the bolts, the threads, with some WD-40, let it sit for a little bit. This way we can get the
Axle out.
Yeah, we have to get the axle out, but also we got to get the what do you call it, that bearing, because that has to get transferred to the new
Correct,
one.
yes.
The wheel bearing has to get transferred to the new one. Also, what's that? That's probably the speed sensor.
Yeah, for traction control most probably.
It could be speed sensor. Could be ABS also.
Could be also ABS. I think it might be right with the ABS.
So we gotta get all these sensors off. So pretty much a good idea is just to spray everything down with WD-40 or some sort of penetrant. This way it'll be easier to come out, hopefully. But I would say be ready for a fight, because these things definitely give you a hard time after years of being on there, and especially on the East Coast here with all the salt and crap that happens.
Northeast, bro.
All right, Northeast. You know, you can see my coilovers already rusty. These are the ST coilovers. I would say go with the, what was it, DW?
KW.
KW. The KWs have an aluminum body. This had a steel body, so the steel, after the coating comes off, starts to rust. We have the KWs on the on the Z, and those have been holding up pretty good. This looks horrible, so we're gonna probably clean those up too while we have a chance. All right, guys, we're gonna let this sit for a little bit and then start working on trying to get the
axle out,
the axle, the wheel bearing, all the accessories, and not really accessories, but all the add-on stuff that we need to get on, sensors, and we'll start. We'll come back after that. All right, guys, so we're using an M12 triple square to get the bolts that are holding this
axle bearing,
wheel bearing on. Getting a little stuck. It's a little pain. We had to move the axle around to try to get it to come out. We also had to put a lot of pressure too. We ended up putting a bar on the end of the wrench, ratchet, to get this out. This keeps getting stuck. So
you're not going to move that with the bottom bolt still on.
yeah, I'm just trying to shake it. If you want to see what they look like, we've gotten 2 out so far. So if you want to know what they look like, this is what they look like. Triple square. I think it's a 12 point is what they call it. These had a decent amount of Loctite on it, it looks like. So it took a lot of force to get them out. So you have 4 of them holding on this wheel bearing, which we need to get out. The axle is already loose because we took the center bolt out so we can move it around. Al, can you like straighten it back up a little bit? I think it's jamming on the axle. Okay, stop.
So what he did there is just took the axle bolt,
Just
put it
to
in,
push
push out the axle.
Yeah.
It's fairly easy.
So there we go. We got 1 more left.
And then we're going to either have to chisel on that or bang it around a little bit because it's aluminum on steel.
Rotate the wheel around
Which way?
the way it was before. So I can get the last one. All right, stop there. Yeah, this one's a little hard because the axle's in the way. Even though we pushed it.
Why don't you use the extension and put it on the ratchet, and that should be a little easier to get it out.
All right, let's try that out. There we go.
Isn't that easier?
Yeah, sometimes, but who wants to do it easy way?
Let's screw it all the way out. You're not going to get it with your fingers.
How do you know?
Do what I say!
There we go. Whew, that was tiring. All right, now we need to get the. Well, you know
The
what?
bearing out. You got to knock it to get the bearing out.
Honestly, I could wait till we get it completely off, I think.
I don't suggest pulling on that. You would rather have to chisel and get it from between here
I'm just
to separate it.
Just shaking it a little.
Actually, it looks like it's coming loose. Hit it sideways is better.
We need a. I think we should wait till we get it completely off and then we can mess with that.
Get what completely off?
The whole piece off. That's not going to stop it from coming out. You understand? In case it's pressed in, we could put it on.
You'd rather have that on here that's sturdy so you could pull against it, than to try and take it off and pry that out.
We could put this on the press and put 2 pieces and push it from the back side out.
You want to take the whole thing off and then press it out? Okay, that's the smart way of doing it. Fine.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right, a quick tip for anybody who's trying to do this. The pinch bolt here, leave this one in so that when you take off this top nut, because otherwise if you take out the pinch bolt first, it loses the grip on here and it'll just keep spinning. So leave this one in first, take out the nut on top, then take out your pinch bolt. We took out the pinch bolt holding on the control arms here, and both controls arms got slack right away and popped out. So that's good, I think. But we're gonna have to keep working on that to get that out. Let's get at that right now. I'm losing my temper with this thing. But look, see that came out there? This part shouldn't be that hard in there, but Jesus.
Where's the thing? Oh.
What am I looking
The
for?
fork. Put the fork in
All
there.
right, hold on. Let me get this bottom nut out. This is the bottom nut holding the bottom side of this. I took out the one on this side too. This son of a gun, he's coming with me. I had the fork here somewhere. All right. There you go. It's barely in there now. Come on, there you go. There's your axle. That's it. And here we go. Now my brother said let's take this out so we could press this out. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll come from the back end. We'll put it on the press machine, press it out.
You know what? Let's spray some WD-40 in there and see what happens.
We were taking out the ABS right here and the
Or
head
speed
broke.
sensor or whatever.
ABS speed sensor, whatever. It broke the head off. We just pulled it out, but since we're got a new one to this that's coming off, we also got to straighten this back up, take this one off here and transfer it to the new one. I don't even know if the new one has this.
No,
my brother take a look. So just gonna throw some WD-40 in here.
Let it
Let it
sit.
sit.
And then we'll try to get that out. But awesome, we got it out. All right, guys, that was a pain. It was not easy. We were banging on this thing for a little while. Let's try to get it out, to get all the bolts out. Also, we ran into another issue. The piece that goes into the bottom here is stuck on the bolt. So we got to get that out first because the new one already has that sleeve in there. So what I'm guessing is that's like a steel sleeve in the aluminum.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to pull this off, but we could just put the puller on this and I'll get it off with the puller. It shouldn't be that hard for me to get off. I'll show you how we do that in a second. Let's take a look at what our problem was.
Wait, okay.
If you look at this, this is how it's situated when it's in there. As you can see from here, it probably was used so long that it's gotten wallered out.
Wallered?
Let's call it wallered, but you see how that fits like garbage here? See how it's slack in here? This one was fine. It was tight up in this one. No movement. And this one was doing a whole bunch of madness. Let's take a look at the new one. Put some more WD-40 in there in a second.
Remember, the screws are loose on that, so.
No problem. So when you look at the new one, well, this has the piece inside, so we're just going to take that off quickly just to show you what we're talking about. And by the way, we're going to be replacing these pinch bolts. You don't use back these pinch bolts.
Yeah, they're stretch bolts.
They're stretched,
They
and
say one-time use.
that's the end. But if you see where this fits in here, that's solid. It's not going anywhere back and forth. That's what we need.
Yep.
So that's what we just put this so we know where things go. I'm tired. I want something to eat. I think we're done for today, unless we got to pull out those other things. But you know what? We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're gonna end this video here. I don't want to make this one too crazy long, so this will be part 1 of 2. 1 is removing the steering knuckle. Part 2 is putting it all back together. We're still gonna have to figure out how to get that metal sleeve off of the bolt. And once we get that off, the new one already has the metal sleeves in there. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So if you look here, these sleeves are already into the aluminum. So the one, I think this one is stuck on the actual bolt. So maybe we might have to heat it or something to get it off, but at least we have a new piece. We're gonna have to take everything off. So we'll take everything off of that one, all the bolts and the fittings, transfer it onto this one. We're gonna have to replace the ones that are stretch bolts, which I think I showed you in the beginning of the video. And we're gonna have to buy or find a bolt that fits that speed / traction control sensor, whatever it is called, or ABS sensor. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna have to get a bolt to go through that and screw into it. But I'll check online, see if I can find that. So once again, guys, if you're new to the channel, you like the videos, hit that subscribe button, you know, hit the like button, share it, do what you gotta do, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Alright guys, so now we're gonna try to get that sleeve off this. What is this? Would this be considered the lower control arm?
Lower control arm.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get the sleeve off the lower control arm because the new one already has a sleeve in there, so we won't have to reuse this. Al figured out to use a I guess like a bearing puller or something.
Yep.
Or
can you see what I'm doing?
yeah. And then we're gonna try to use that to kind of get this sleeve off.
You know what? We're gonna have to leave the WD-40 on it for a while, I think. God damn.
Well, I think it came off.
No, it did. Did it? Where'd it go?
I don't know where it went, but I just saw.
Oh, there it is. Yes, it did.
Holy crap!
There it goes. Always wear eye protection.
Yeah.
And face protection for these things.
Wow, I thought the thing broke.
You know what? There's a taper on here,
Yeah.
and you can see the rust, and that's why it took hell.
That thing just popped off.
Wow.
That was crazy.
I think that's it.
Yeah.